you. What's going on, stranger? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this show, Bedtime Stories, with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, on WOSD Radio, DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis, and WRLN Radio.com, a radio media station. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, officially checking in. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Hope you had a great day, morning, afternoon, evening. If you had a bad one, we're about to make it even better with some of the greatest love songs of all time. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. And let me turn my mic up just a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Give me the Don Cornelius effect there. Anyway, I don't think there's a setting on there for Don Cornelius. I don't know. Hello to Patisa Curb. Thank you so much for checking in. I appreciate it. You're like the first one to come in. What's going on, stranger? Coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. 4 songs by one of our favorite artists or one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female, comes up in our last hour here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Here's Luther, along with that $1,000 ticket lady. That's Beyonce. The closer I get to you on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, the Dr. Al Greer. Ooh. Closer I get to you. Boom. Come on, Marcus Miller. Spoon, doom, doom, do, do. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Closer I get to you. Let me see. Don't forget to share the video on your page. Just where it says like, comment, and share, just hit share. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. The way you make me. All right, I'm on. I'm on 2 of the 3 stations I'm supposed to be on. How about that? Anyway. So, guys, how was your week? Or, well, weekend, I should say, right? The beginning of the week, it's Monday. How about this early spring weather we had today? They call it fool's weather. You're a fool to take your coat off. Now, you're a fool if you take your coat off. I left work, still have my scarf on, everything. Randall Lawrence, Shafan Miller, Michael Green. Good evening, y'all. Yeah, appreciate it, as always. Especially Michael Green. I'm surprised he's still up this late. Dolores Ann Wells. Good evening to you too. I appreciate your company. Thank you so much. Pearl Reed. As a matter of fact, I have a whole box of these. Those are the variety pack. Cheetos, Fritos, Doritos, and Chippos. So, you know, my granny used to say, "Come and get it, ding ding, ring the triangle." Believe me, I'm not stingy like that. Never, never stingy. Yep, yep, I'm never stingy. Mm-mm. Yep. Never that. Yep. If anything, my mother taught me when I was younger is always to share. Aren't you going to share with your little brother? Okay. Obviously, he forgot about those days, huh? Mm-mm. So I was watching this news article. It was on WGN about the Inglewood Barbie. She's taking a group of people down up under the Dan Ryan. Said, bring your sleeping bags so you can see how homeless people live. I'm like, girl, you need to come here and see how homeless people live. I'm like, ooh, rent is due in a couple of days. I might have to find me a sleeping bag. Because once I pay rent, that's gonna be it. So I'm supposed to, let's see now, I'm supposed to survive until Friday, which is payday. So we'll see what happens. You know, um, I will say this: God has not failed me yet. He has given me the money for rent. You know, and our rent is due on the second instead of the first. Okay, that's cool. So we'll see what happens. So, like I said, he hasn't failed me yet. I got a half a tank of gas, so I can make it back and forth to work until payday. So good. What I'm gonna do for lunch, I don't know, but you know, like I said, he always makes a way. Somebody asked me to do a party, and they said, "Well, what do I have to do to hire you?" I said, "Put down a deposit. You take Zelle, I take Zelle, I take PayPal, I take everything but Cash App. Cash App still cut me off." I'm like, okay. So, so all the above except so no Cash App. So that's why I always run this at the bottom. It says Zelle or PayPal. Y'all thought it was a joke or just something to put there. I was like, no. Mm-mm. And my landlord went up on my rent $100. So you got to love her 100 ways. Yeah. Not just 50, not just 75, but 100. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Quincy Jones, along with the late James Ingram, 100 Ways, right here on Bedtime Stories. James has a famous brother. His brother's name is Philip Ingram. If that name doesn't sound familiar, he used to sing with the group Switch. As a matter of fact, I think he does still sing with the group Switch. He was the one with the very long hair, the chocolate guy with the long hair. So, yeah, that's his brother. And we'll probably play some Switch later on this evening, right here on Bedtime Stories. Hello to Dolores Ann Wells. Thank you so much. I was explaining to her, I said, once I pay my rent, that's going to be all the money that I have for the week. Don't you feel sorry for me? No. Okay. All right. So, like I always run at the bottom of my screen, it says Bedtime Stories with Dr. Al Greer. Donations are welcome via Zelle at 773-519-1223. So anyway, like I was saying, my sister Angie, once your brother pays rent on, I think it's Wednesday, I will be broke until Friday. I have a half a tank of gas um, and some change. That's about it. But like I always say, the Lord will make a way somehow. And so far, He has. As you can see, the lights are on, the internet is on, all that good stuff. And I got some frozen food in the freezer, living just like a bachelor. Here's Renee and Angela and my first love on Bedtime Stories. What's up, Preston? Preston Shikes. What's going on, sir? Angie Martin Turner. Yep. Yep, our rent is due on the second. And like I said, he went up $100. I'm like, bro. But I think they went up um, on the water bill in Chicago. So therefore, we have to eat I guess the difference. Of course, it costs to heat the water the hot water heater, which is downstairs. So that's one bill that they have to pay. Of course, we don't have to pay it directly. Only thing we pay for is cooking gas. So, but once again, I ain't complaining. You know, I did my little mini shopping on Sunday when I got out of church. Got me some frozen dinner, so I'm good. I'm good. Once again, I got a half a tank of gas. My internet is on. My light bill is paid. So come Friday or Saturday, hopefully I'll, go back to Williams Inn. That's what's been happening. I haven't been at Williams Inn for like 2 weeks. Now, I don't mind telling you guys, I make a pretty good buck at Williams Inn. Something to the tune of $200 a night, which is $400 a weekend, $400 in 2 days. So that's my rent money right there. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's rent money. So without that, I have to rely on my 2 paychecks. So it is what it is. So like Dolores Ann Wells said, help a brother out. Help me out. Help me. Like I was just telling her, I said, I'm far from being stingy. And my sister can tell you, I'm far from being stingy. Whatever I have is yours, and that's how I am. That's how it's always been. Because I learned that the only way you can keep a woman is remember 2 words. Yes, dear. And that's it. Yes, dear. No, dear. And of course, the ever popular, you're absolutely right, dear. That's it. Fellas, you remember those words and you'll stay married forever. Of course, it didn't work for me, Dolores. It didn't work for me too well. Everybody said, would you ever get married again? No. Nope. In the words of the OJs, this is the end of the love train. This is the end. Marriage is for certain people. What's up, EJ? Marriage isn't for everybody. Marriage is for certain people who can, like the song says, some people can hold it together, laugh through all sorts of weather. Why can't we? How about us? How about us, baby? So, some of us can do it. I admire they're married 50 and more years. Sheila Forrest, what's going on? My parents were together. Let's see, I'm that old. They were together the whole time. You know, my mother said before she passed, she said, I upheld my end of the bargain. I said, your end of the bargain? What are you talking about? She said, the wedding vows, which simply said, till death do us part. And it did. Did she ever remarry? Absolutely not. Nope. So that's it. Just dropping in on the subject of the conversation. Well, the subject I was talking about was at first my money situation. So I said once I pay rent, um, I'll be pretty much, not broke, but not a whole lot of money until Friday. So let's see, today is the 27th, of course. So, Thursday. Rent is due on Thursday. I'm thinking it's due on Wednesday. So my rent is due Thursday. Once I pay that, then Friday I get paid. So, okay, I'm good. Okay. You know, so, once again, once I pay my rent, I got one day and then it'll be Friday and then I get paid again. From paycheck to paycheck. What's going on, Russell? Shake and bake. What's going on, brother? Okay, those money woes. Don't even get me started on that. I hear you. I hear you. It's rough all over for some people, and this is still the beginning of the year for some people. And I remember a few years ago, I couldn't find a gig. All I needed, John Caldwell, all I needed, and John knows this, all I needed was like a couple of DJ parties to hold me between paychecks. One check I get every week, and then the other one is every other week, where they're about the same amount of money, which is kind of strange. So yeah. So my rent is due on Thursday. So once I pay that, you know, I'll be forced to cash in my change that I have. So that's about it. But a few years ago, I couldn't get no gig. You know, I was just looking at my equipment. You know, which I hate doing. Just sitting there looking at it. I'm like, look at all this equipment I got. You know, and that hurts my feelings to have to look at my equipment and I don't have a gig to do. They're slowly coming in though, slowly. The Rose Brothers and I get off on you right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. I thought when the Rose Brothers came out that the lead singer was going to be the next Teddy Pendergrass because they have like you know, the same tone, that rough tone. I love it. I'm like, yeah, he would be a great candidate you know, to take Teddy's place in Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. because I don't know who these guys are. I have no idea who they are. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, to where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Hello to Sheila Forrest, also to John Caldwell and Preston Shanks. Also, Dolores Ann Wells, thank you for joining me. And like I was saying earlier, off the air, I was saying that, my rent is due on Thursday. So I just have to pinch pennies until I get to that day. Of course, once I pay the rent, the next day I get paid. So I'm good. It's just that I can't spend any money this week. It's so sad. But I have, I collect coins. So, at night I empty out my pockets and I put them in this little canister, which resembles that of a Pringles can, but it's the different kind because it's plastic. So I put all my change in there. I remember the last time I cashed it in, it was about $40 worth of change in there. I was like, wow, I'm living like a bachelor, I tell you. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, with the first of two in a row from Champaign. This is How About Us on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, where donations are welcome via Zelle. And drag it on. Hanging on. Mm-hmm. One another for life. How about us? How about us? How about us, baby? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Singing "Living for the Weekend." They should change the name of that. "Living for the Payday." From check to check, dancing from check to check. Anyway, so let me hurry up and pay. Get my taxes done so I can get some money back. I already owe $1,800. So once I've file my taxes, whatever's left, I guess they'll give me whatever's left from taking out whatever I owe. How I ended up owing $1,800, I don't know. Probably because I have no more dependents. I need to borrow some of you all's children or something. Back in the day, I was like racking up. Well, I was putting other people's kids on my tax returns. I tell you, hey, everybody did it. Everybody does it. You know, I'm just saying, you get more money back if you have kids. Well, unfortunately, all my children are grown, and they have children of their own, so they're using their kids to get money back. So, you know, Yep. So, I wish I could write off my granddaughter. You know, can't do it. And people tell me all the time, oh, I got $2,500, I got $2,800, I got, like, how do you do that? You know, I'm like, wow. And that's like crazy money. I'm like, you got what? I got $1,200. I got $1,500. I got $2,000. For real? And what do? They go out and they blow all the money. A few months later, they repo the car, and that's it. You know, After that, everybody's done. Yeah, they go out and buy a car, which is crazy. But my mother, God bless her, would she knew how to save money, and I think that's where I got it from because I have two different bank accounts. I have one bank account that I use to, I guess, blow stuff or get important things like paying the cell phone bill and stuff like that. So, but it's the other account that doesn't get touched, and that's the one that I pull my rent out from. So I put money in, but I don't take money out. The other one is like, I got Bank of America and I have U.S. Bank. Well, the Bank of America card gets more work or more mileage than the U.S. Bank. Now I'm checking and savings for U.S. Bank and just checking for Bank of America. So if I'm pulling money out of U.S. Bank, then it must be something really important. So you need to take out more deductions. Never give that type of oral testimony in public. What, that I'm broke? Yes. That I'm broke? And I'm just saying, these people are getting like $1,200. They're getting like $1,500 back. You know, like John and I, we do gigs on the side. He's a musician, I'm a musician and a DJ. So, you know, that's really not enough money to report, you know, and that's it. But the young lady who did my taxes last time, I got a nice little chunk of change back. So I was gonna try somebody else this year. I was like, no, I think I'll stick with this young lady. So that way, whatever I get back, I'll be cool. But all of the, like the voiceover gigs and all that stuff, it's just not enough money to report. It flies under the radar. Now, if I was doing voiceovers on a regular basis, then that would be different. I would have to report that as an income if that was all that I did. You know, we can try. 2 in a row from Champaign. Try again, and how about us right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for staying up with me. You could be anywhere else right now. You could be in the bed. Some people get into bed at like 10 o'clock in the evening. I can't do it. And I'll tell you why. Because if I go to bed before midnight, I am up at 3 or 4 in the morning. So I don't know how people say, I get 8 hours of sleep. I can't do it. I just can't. 8 hours, that's I'm lucky if I get 5 or 6 hours. But 8 hours, good Lord. If I went to bed at 10 o'clock, I'd be getting up at like 4 or 5 in the morning looking for something to do or someone to do. I'm just saying. What's up, Preston Shanks? He said, I need to take out more deductions. I said, I know that's right. Yeah, I hear you. Hello to my daughter, Brianna, who is due any day now. I'm going to be a granddaddy again or a pawpaw. I kind of like pawpaw better. It's kind of cool. Here are the Temptations. My love is true. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories. Sing, Ron Tyson. What's the matter, daughter? Dr. Pawpaw. I'm not them kids. I'm the daughter. Yes, she says she's my favorite daughter. She has claimed that. She has, claimed that moniker that she is the favorite daughter. I said, okay. I will not argue with you. I will not argue that point. You are. You know. Yes, you are. I just wish I could use your social security number to get some money. But anyway, my day was well. It went well. I got to work. I was only 8 minutes late. Only 8 minutes late. Did everything I had to do at work. And that was it. So it was a good day. It was a really good day. I just need to get into work like earlier, for certain, certain things that they want me to do. So I'm learning to get up. I have to get up and be out of the house before 10:30, at least. I wish your social life. Geez, tell me how you really feel. You wish you could use my social life. What? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. And like I said, if I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, I'm wide awake at 4. I guess that's all the sleep, either 4 or 6. This morning, I got into bed. Okay, I got off work at 2 from the other job and got into bed, got home around 2:30, was in the bed at a quarter to 3 and up at 6. I'm like, why am I up so early? And usually, I have the same routine that I do before I go to bed. I'm not going to tell you what that is because, my daughter's online right now. So, yes, has something to do with a certain website. So, Yeah. So I manually put myself to sleep because I don't automatically go to sleep. My body is not at that point yet. So I have to put myself to sleep. Once I'm put to sleep, then, you know, but it never fails. My phone rings at 9 o'clock every morning. The phone, not the alarm, but the phone rings at 9 o'clock. Oh, we're calling regarding what is it? Some kind of senior thing that they're trying to get me to buy. I'm like, I don't know why y'all keep calling me. Ain't no seniors over here. You know, I believe you're not a senior till you like 65. Okay, so I got a few more years, but I'm like, I ain't ready to take that plunge. So, call me back in a few years, okay? And you can tell me about all the senior benefits that you have. My thing is, I'm going to see if I can start drawing my Social Security now. Because when I get older, hell, I won't be able to do anything with it. Now, will I? I'll be like those other guys getting all this money and can't leave the house to enjoy it. So, Latanya Lynn Garrett, what's going on, Hollywood? She's the female Al Greer. She got like 4 jobs too. Like, dang. You at work right now? Yup. I'm doing a double. A double? Good Lord. She said, "Oh, I get off work at 7 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, 7 o'clock in the morning? Good Lord. That's. Mm-hmm. She said, "At work." Mm-hmm. Girl, I don't know how you do it. At La Rabita, yeah. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how. She works at La Rabita and she does, was it private duty nursing or something like that? You we talked last night. Just she's talking about one of her clients. I know, right? That's how you do it, Jesus. I know. Trying to get the lady to go back to bed. She kept getting out of the bed to get. And it was a language barrier because I guess the lady didn't speak English. She said something to her. She said, "I don't know what you're saying, but you need to get back in the bed." Like, dang. Ooh, she had me over there rolling. I was on the couch in the front room just rolling. I'm like, oh Lord. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know how you do it. I got it easy. I go out and I DJ like Saturday. Oh man, I think I played maybe 5 or 6 songs and that was it. That was it. That was it. That was all. So it's what I do. I can't wait to get a big gig so I can show off with my speakers and stuff. Because I had what was that? Um, oh, here it is, right here. Bam. This was not last week, week before last. 16th Ward. Honoring seniors and veterans. Sounds provided by DJ Al Greer. She still doesn't know I'm a doctor, but And it's like, if your mother's a bishop, then what am I? Anyway. Now, lunch was served, but I never got any. Fried chicken, fried catfish, waffles, mac and cheese, greens, peach cobbler, banana pudding, and that was it. Did I get any of that? No. Nope. And that was Valentine's Day. Did I get anything? Nope. Not even a happy Valentine's Day. I got nothing. I tell you, I get nothing. Am I complaining? Maybe. Maybe I'm complaining. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Minnie Riperton, and here we go again, featuring Peebo Bryson. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Although people still want to call me DJ, I'm like, okay. I'm like, wait a minute, where is my certificate? I am a doctor. Yes. Some people have to pay for theirs, and some, they get it, honest. They go back to the school that they went to, and the school honors them. So, of course, I didn't do any of that. But anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I refuse to go back to school unless I'm going back to work. That's about it. I would love to teach over at Kennedy King once again, if they let me on the campus. That was so long ago too. I think I've been forgiven by now. The statute of limitation has run out. So we'll see what happens. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories with the Isley Brothers and Choosy Lover. I'm so proud of you. Mm-mm. Yep, Latanya, I'll be wore out doing what you do. And I'm older, so Mm-mm. I would be wasted when I get home. Ooh, higher learning is on with Ice Cube's Uncrushable Fro. Like, how does that happen? Mm-mm. I cannot wait till it gets warm. As much as I love wearing hats, I think my head needs some sunlight. They used to tell me back in the day, they said, you get your hairline from your grandfather, not your father. Because my dad had a full head of hair before he passed. You know, it had just begun to thin, but I'm like, good grief. Once again, not complaining. I still have some hair left. Of course, it's all right here. Yeah. And trust me, I've tried everything but Rogaine. You know, they said if you start using Rogaine, then you have to use it for the rest of your life. Okay, at $40 a pop, I guess I can, I guess I can swang that. I guess I could swing that. It's not so bad, or is it? Choose your lover. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh. Am I the only one that's watching Higher Learning on Bounce TV? I guess I am. Yeah. I know other. So the wind was so high the other night, I thought the windows were going to just cave in. I'm like, good grief. And then this evening, when I was on my way home, on the Dan Ryan, the wind like caught the van, almost tossed the van over to the red line. I was like, whoa, that woke me up. That definitely woke me up. I was like, whoa. That is crazy. And then people are like flying on the Dan Ryan. It's like, look, it is after rush hour. Don't act like you want to get home now. You late. I get off at 6. Y'all get off at 5. You know, there's an hour difference by the time, you get off, when you get off work. Hell, I'm getting off work an hour later. You should already be at home. I'm just saying. what I feel. Say it one more time. Write that down. When? Oh, okay. The Isley Brothers for the love of you, right here on Bedtime Stories. Wait a minute. She's not supposed to be singing on that one. It's the wrong version. That's why. Isley Brothers for the love of you on Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. You could be anywhere. You could be anywhere. For instance, like Latanya Lynn Garrett, she's at work right now. But then again, when is she? When are you not at work? She's always at work. I don't know who's worse, me or her. You know. But see, she's younger. She can do it. I can't. Hello to my daughter Brianna. Also to Maverick Atkins, who likes to wake people up in the morning before they have to get up to go to work. I don't get up that early, bro. I'm a night guy. You know, I was never a morning. Even when I was doing a morning show, I was not. I was not a morning person, man. I would come home, go right to bed, like I'd worked an 8-hour shift or something. Hello to Marion. Thank you for checking in. Said she's not working today. Well, lucky you. You know, lucky you. Anyway, Bedtime Stories is sponsored by our good friends over at Grubhub. Mm-mm. 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 Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis in Chicago, BiggsRadio.com, and of course, WRLN Radio.com, which is a Ray Neal media station. That's what they say on this station. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much, as always, for staying up with me, because you could be anywhere else. You could be in the bed right now with your significant other, your plaything, your main source of recreation. But then again, you might be listening to bedtime stories with that significant other. We appreciate it. Thank you. Marion. Whew. We're together. That's the only duet they ever did together. That's Luther and Patty Austin, whom I used to have a crush on before she lost weight. Yeah. I was like, wow. Yep, she was fine. But she insisted on getting the lap band so she could lose weight. So ended her career. You know, yeah. It wasn't until Luther tried to get skinny that ended his career. You know, that and of course a lot of salty food. So yeah. What's up, Maverick? When was the last time you saw my daughter? Because I know I haven't seen her in a while. You know, I remember there was a time where I got a call saying that they were going to bring my daughter to me. I was like, huh? Um, and they asked me, did I have a home phone? Well, at the time I didn't. So I had to, you know, come up with a home phone because that was the only way they could hook the box up to the home phone. It's like, oh, okay. So that's when I invested in Magic Jack so that I would have a physical phone number so it could be plugged into this box so that whenever she was not in the house at a certain time, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, those were the days, I tell you. So, how'd you get off work today? Hey, Gladys, what's going on? That's my friend, Gladys. You know, she's the only, well, one of the few women I can walk around naked in front of her and nothing would happen. Except I get hollered at, go put some clothes on. Okay, all right. Okay. Anyway, you too? Yeah. Yeah, I stopped working hard. It's like, I stopped doing that. You know, they say work smarter, not harder. So I think that's what I've been doing, working smarter, you know. But so far it's been working out, you know. I would leave work and I would be frustrated. I would be like just worn to a frazzle. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get home. You know, back in the day when I was in radio, when I was younger, I just loved to hang around the station. This is back when I was at Kennedy King. and I didn't want to go home. I enjoyed being at the radio station. That's what I did. That's who I was. I became the radio guy, and that was it. I used to love it. Now I can't wait to get home. It's sad, like, ooh, I need to get home. You know, I can't wait to get home so that I can lay down and watch TV, or TV can watch me, or, whichever. So, you know, stuff has changed since then. Like I said, we used to hang around the radio station and find things to do, but that was back in the day. Now it's like it feels too much like a job. So, when quitting time comes, I'm rushing to get out. And that's it. You know, things have changed since then. So, but doesn't mean that I dislike radio or dislike the people that I work with, or anything like that. But it's just a different dynamic, I guess, because, I got the other radio stations to worry about as well. So my co-worker asked, do you know Sheila O? I might. Yeah, I know a lot of Sheilas. Sheila Forrest is online right now. I might know another Sheila. I think so. You know, you know. A Sheila O in radio. Oh, in radio. Sheila O. Nope, I don't. Mm. And see, that's just that everybody thinks that everybody knows each other in radio. It says, so do you all hang out? Like, no, I don't hang out with the bad boys, or, you know, Crazy Howard or anything like that. You know, we're all on at different times, so we just don't hang out with each other. Now, I used to hang out with the bad boys because they would go to different clubs. So, like on the weekend, I would hang out with them because if I didn't have a gig, I would come to where they were spinning. So that was a different story. So, but yeah, I didn't hang out with Howard. I did hang out with Tornado. He would call me at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, or he would call me before I got off the air at 2 o'clock and said we had a lockdown. I'm like, a lockdown? That's crazy. Aaron Hall, R. Kelly, Ron Isley. Who else is on there? Oh, and R. Kelly. R. Kelly, Ron Isley. Anyway, all of them are on that song. Heaven's Girl, that's by Quincy Jones, as a matter of fact. I think that's on the album. Is it Back on the Block or Q's Juke Joint? One of those. Anyway, I should know that, right? I should know that. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Hello to my good friend Gladys, who is all the way in California. And she was saying that a coworker asked, "Do you know Sheila O in radio?" I'm like, "No, I don't think I know. I know a Sheila E. At least I know of her. I'd love to meet her. I really would. I mean, back in the day, I had such a crush on Sheila E. So much so that I found a young lady who looked like Sheila E. I know that sounds far-fetched because Sheila E. was just so fine back in the day. So I found a young lady who looked like Sheila E., right? And the feeling wasn't mutual. I'll just leave it like that. I thought she was cute, and she thought I was just the funny guy, a funny looking guy, whichever. Anyway, coming up in our next hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. Four songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. This song came out in 1979. It was from the album 8 for the 80s by Webster Lewis, not to be confused with Webster, the little tiny guy. Featuring DJ Rogers, this is Heavenly on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, hello to Gladys Horton. Woo! Mm-mm. Yep, back in the day, boy, I could stay up all night and then get up and go to work in the morning. As a matter of fact, I did. I remember meeting this young lady at the Tiger Lounge on 79th Street, the Tiger Lounge. And it was, at that time, I was doing mornings at AM 1390 or Dusty Radio 1390. And I was due to be on the air at 6 o'clock in the morning, which meant I was supposed to get there at 5:30 to prepare my show. Here's what happened. We left the Tiger Lounge. I don't know what time it was. I guess when the club closed, which was like at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we left the Tiger Lounge and went to the East of the Ryan. Y'all know what the East of the Ryan is. If you don't, it's a motel. So I went to the East of the Ryan with the young lady. And, and of course, all of the TVs have like a radio built in. So, I turned the radio on, Music usually puts me to sleep. I I left the radio on all night and part of the morning, and then I hear this voice come out of the TV. The TV is also a radio, right? And that's what woke me up. It said Dusty Radio 1390. It said it's Al Greer on Dusty Radio 1390. All Dusties all the time. I was like, wait a minute, that's me. But why am I still here in the bed? Yeah, it was that bad. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to, properly say goodbye to the young lady. Yeah. I'm like, I got to get to work. I'm sorry, but this date is over with. So I went to work smelling like shame. And that was it. I went straight to work. Did not wash or anything. I went straight to work. Yep. And thank goodness no one got close to me, because they would have said, I was reeking of alcohol and that other stuff. Yeah. It was crazy. So that was it. So needless to say, I regulated my dates to weekends instead of during the week, because I knew that I could not function on a couple of hours of sleep and do a morning show. It was crazy. I said, that'll never happen again. Did I see the young lady again? Of course I did. You know, I continued to see her, but it was only on the weekends. I'm like, sweetheart, I can't afford to lose my job. Okay. So it I went through a lot. You know, I had to jump through hoops to get this job. So I'm not trying to mess it up by messing around with you during the week. Now we can kick it on the weekend. That's cool, but Monday through Friday, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. But you know, back in the day, you know, I was a player. So, you know, that's the way it was back in the day. I was just a straight up player. What was my motto? Sworn to fun, loyal to none. You know. Then finally, adulthood set in. Yeah. Yeah. Adulthood came a calling. And I said, I guess I'm going to have to slow down now because I was just, DJ Carl Dobbins, what's going on, sir? I said, at some point, I guess you have to leave those things alone, right? And it's ironic because the club that I'm talking about has been closed for years. I think I was probably, that was the last time I was there, and that was the last time it was open. I'm talking about the Tiger Lounge, Carl. Yep. Tired, long weekend. I hear you. I understand. Trust me. I feel you on that. Bobby Chappelle, good Lord. Woo, boy. Yep, Bobby Chappelle. Yep, those were the days, boy. Bobby had another place, didn't he? It was Illusion. And Illusion had that plexiglass floor, just like the Taste had. Until they covered it up, they got tired of the floor getting broken. They have to replace the little tiles because they had the lights up under the floor back then. It's like that. I don't care what nobody says. Playing music back in the day, you got paid good. Yep. Those were the days. Now, getting paid at the club, that was a totally different story. Getting paid at the clubs, no. Clubs don't want to pay any money. They want to pay you like $100 and want you to work all night, if that much. So I remember at the where was I? The Sexty Sex. I got $125 a night. Yeah, $125 a night, and that's only because I worked at the radio station. As they said, oh, we can't afford to pay you. You on the radio. I said, oh, okay. You know, I don't know what that meant, but yeah. They said, you on the radio, so we can't afford you. They thought I was going to charge them like $500, but I didn't. You know, and I think everybody that I knew that was a DJ, you know, the nights that I couldn't do the sexy sex, I got them to do it. So, you know, Fred paid well, and Sanford, yeah. And then what was the other place? Oh, the Fantasy. Once again, Bobby Chappelle and Ray McCoy. They owned the Fantasy before they got Sweet Georgia Browns. Well, you know, yep. The thing was either you could get paid in cash or cocaine. Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Where Peaceful Waters Flow, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Me and DJ Carl Dobbins going down memory lane about DJing at all these clubs back in the day. Well, he got a chance to work with Richard Pegee over at Sweet Georgia Browns. I worked with Richard at the Celebrity Lounge, which is on 83rd Street. So he was the one that first put equipment in there. You know, before that, they didn't have anything in there. So he hooked it up where any DJ could come in there and just plug in and just go for broke. You know, he was smart like that. He was smart like that. Now they have it where you can plug in, you know, like either your laptop or your controller, and the speakers and the amps and everything else are already there. So yeah, but that was back in the day. Now, I do miss Uncle Richard. He was one of a kind. Him and Herb, they agreed to disagree all the time. It's Prince Rogers Nelson. And how come you don't call me anymore on Bedtime Stories? Yep, Daddy Rich. I don't know if I ever told you this, Carl, but one day I was at Daddy Rich's house, and I looked outside, and they had put a boot on my car. I had a Ford Tempo. It was black. It was a pretty car too. And I was like, "Oh shoot!" He said, "What?" I said, "I got a boot on my car." He said, "Find out how much it is." Oh, okay. So I called. I found out how much it was. It was $330. Accumulation, I guess, of tickets. Richard went to this, I think it was like a baby food jar or something. And he reached in there, and it was just filled with money. And he pulled out $330. He said, "Now let's go get the boot off your car." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "You know I can't pay you back." He said, "You just have to work it off." So So I worked it off by doing commercials for him. That's how I worked off $330. But I got my car back, and I ended up either selling or giving that car to my baby mama. Yeah. And that was it. Yep. That was it. You probably never heard of it, but it's on BET right now. Harlem Nights, really cool. Yep, I think I've seen a Harlem Nights 100 times. Yeah, Harlem Nights is one of my favorite movies of all time. You know, most of Eddie Murphy's movies were good to me. They may not have been good to other people. You know, I liked Boomerang, and I liked The Distinguished Gentleman, which came out after Boomerang, which kind of failed. The Golden Child, which the critics thought was garbage. You know, like, oh, okay. You know, they were all vehicles for Eddie to be funny. You know, you know. But all of those were really good movies. But you know, like I said, the critics kind of panned them as being, you know, not so good. You know. But every movie was different that Eddie was in. You know, but it gave Eddie a chance to be, you know, to be Eddie. Um, Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. Three, of course, wasn't as good as 1 and 2. 48 Hours and another 48 Hours. Those were two good movies as well. And then the whole Clumps series of movies. Those were very good. Um, you know, Eddie, I don't care what anybody says about Eddie Murphy. The man played four different roles in a movie. He played his own father, he played his brother, he played his grandmother, he played his mother, and of course Sherman Klump. So you can't tell me, you know, and he had to come up with voices for each one of the characters. So you can't tell me that Eddie wasn't, you know, Eddie wasn't the man. Mm-mm. Got to do some other music homework. All right, DJ Carl Dobbins, still a student. Do your thing. Keep it going. What about the movies that Eddie Murphy did, like Metro, Daddy Daycare, The Haunted Mansion, the other ones that were not so good? I love Eddie Murphy and his array of comedy movies and his sitcom and other shows. You forgot A Vampire in Brooklyn. Let's not forget that one. You know, which critics did not like. They did not like A Vampire in Brooklyn. They thought, Eddie had just, lost his mind from there. So, you know, but critics will be critics. They didn't think Boomerang was that good. They thought Harlem Nights was the worst crap that ever got made. But, you know, you got to think that it's a show enough classic because all of the comedians who were in that movie are no longer with us. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, um, Robin Harris, Charlie Murphy, they're all gone. You know, Uncle Ray Murphy, everybody is gone. Everybody. So that's right, including Angela Bassett. She was in Vampire in Brooklyn. Yep. But what about the documentary he was in about hiring transsexual prostitutes? It was called the Eddie Murphy story. We don't know that for sure, do we? Do we know that Eddie Murphy was picking up transsexual prostitutes? Anyway, Harlem Nights was really good and beautiful to watch. The cinematography. Thank you. Preston said, "I love those movies." You know, Doctor Doolittle movies with Raven Simone before she found out that she liked women. Or maybe she knew all along. She just, had to play that role. That's so Raven. You know, that's crazy. I think I like girls. Yeah. Towards the end, he loses the accent, right? Prince Rogers Nelson, International Lover from 1999. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Sheila Forrest, also to Troy Anthony. He said Danny Aiello is the real feel-good character in Harlem Nights, even though he's the crook in Harlem Nights. But yeah, Danny Aiello is gone too. We're talking about Eddie Murphy movies. Now, Eddie, at one time, he was making movie after movie, and some of the movies were really good, exceptionally good, and some of them were not so good. But I gotta defend him. I mean, to do movies back to back like that, it's going to lose some quality there. You can't always make a great movie, but I'll put it to you this way: Eddie never has to work another day in his life. He still gets residuals off those other movies, even the bad ones. Like what was it? I can't think of the Norbit, which was a funny movie. Norbit, where he played both characters. What was the other one? I can't think. It'll come to me later. But each movie couldn't be the best, the greatest. They didn't like Harlem Nights, and some of the greatest lines come out of that movie. You know, I mean, you got to think. Oh, you want to shoot me in my pinky toe? some of the greatest lines came out of that movie. I don't care what nobody says. All the Nutty Professor movies, you know, Sherman, 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 Hercules, Hercules, and the second one, which starred Janet Jackson. I think that was one of the best ones. Only because I love to see Janet cry. When Janet cries, I cry. I'm like, oh, Janet, don't cry in the movie. When she was in the Tyler Perry movie and she cried and she was tearing up the house, that was right after Michael had died. All Tyler had to say was, action, now tear the house up. She's like, she said she never felt so better tearing up somebody else's stuff. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. He was born James Ambrose Johnson. We know him as, I'm about to say Eddie Murphy. Rick James. This is Spacey Love from Bustin' Out of L7 on Bedtime Stories. Mm-mm. He made sure that he was involved in every aspect of the movie, and that was okay by me. Some critics uh, said that he was being arrogant and self-absorbed. He was. He was. He absolutely was. You know, because he thought he could, especially in Harlem Nights, he thought he could do it all. You know, he pretty much thought that he could, do everything in that movie. He starred in it. He directed it. Um, I mean, the whole thing. And he tried to do a great job, but at the end of the day, he wanted to work with his idols. He wanted to work with Red Fox. He wanted to work with Richard Pryor. You know, and I don't care what anybody says. That movie will go down as an African American classic, as far as I'm concerned. That is, you know, hey Deborah, Happy New Year to you too. Even when he tried his hand in making an album, Rick James showed him the ropes, and he did. Um, and he told the story of how he got snowed in Buffalo, making party all the time, and he got stuck with Rick James because it had started snowing, so he couldn't get back home, and he had to spend the whole weekend with Rick James. He said nothing happened, you know, but him and his brother Charlie were good friends with Rick James. And it's sad to hear about Charlie Murphy. You know, Charlie. Charlie had a style of his own. Even though he was in his brother's shadow, he had a whole style of his own. You know, he learned from his brother, and then he took that and made it his own. He became his own man. You know, and I think that I think it was the other way around. I think that Eddie heard Charlie Murphy cracking jokes and said, "Okay, I'm gonna do what Charlie's doing." But Charlie at that time was a gangbanger. He wasn't interested in being in television or movies or whatever. I think the first movie that Charlie was in was Players Club. Back then, he was going by Charlie O. Murphy, if you can remember. I can't believe that Charlie Murphy is gone too. He did good in the small part he had in Players Club. Yeah, he sure did. And this was before he was, before he was famous, before he was popular. You know, he was Eddie Murphy's big brother, and that's it. You know, you know, it was interesting because Charlie had never acted before. He had never acted. He had never taken an acting lesson in his life. He was just a natural actor, you know, and that was it. Charlie would have gone far in his own right. You're absolutely right, Deborah. Charlie was, yeah, he was on that reality show with the other comics, you know, but never never was he in Eddie's shadow, you know. He wasn't like, oh, are you trying to be like your brother? No, Charlie was nothing like Eddie. Eddie was okay, but Charlie was the one that was raw. You know, Charlie's his comedy style was totally different. You know, it was totally different than Eddie's. They may have bore a resemblance to each other, but that's where it ended. It's like Chris Rock and Tony Rock. You know, they might look alike, but their comedy is totally different. You know, totally different. So, but yeah, Charlie was everything Charlie said was funny. Everything, you know, and that whole thing with Dave Chappelle. Oh man, that made Charlie a star. You know, I mean, Charlie was already in bit parts in movies and stuff. Playing thugs and garbage men and stuff. But it wasn't until Dave Chappelle put him on Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories that was it. Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor's character seems like law-breaking troublemakers, while Danny Aiello's character is trying to uphold the law. Yeah, okay. which is which is totally the opposite. You know. So, I want to start my own candy store. Call it Sugar Fills. uh, but that movie, boy, that was. I don't care what anybody says. That movie was funny. It had some great lines in it. You know. You know. The interaction between Red Fox and Della Reese was just. It was great. You know. I don't care what nobody says. That was a funny movie. You know. It was a good movie. It was the costumes were great. That scene with that scene with Arsenio is classic. You know, where where Eddie guns all of them down with like a single pistol. You know, what's his name? Nunez, Miguel Nunez is in it, and Arsenio, and the little guy with the the six shooter. That was funny. That was really funny. It don't get no funnier. Hey Val, 2 in a row from Rick James. That is teardrops right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Deborah, also to Valerie. Thanks for checking in on Facebook. And like I always say, if you're on Facebook with me, make sure you share the page, all right? Just share my live, all right? Where it says like, comment, and share. Just hit share. So it'll look like a whole bunch of people are watching me. We're talking about Eddie Murphy movies. What's up, Slick Vic? I saw you with the blue lights in the basement. I saw you, man. I saw you. Sheila Forrest said Jasmine Guy was good along with Brenda Tolbert when she was Jenny Wilson on the Jeffersons. She was Richard Pryor's wife in the movie. And that was one of the funniest lines. She said, let's make love all night. He said, why don't we just make love real hard for 1 hour and sleep the rest of the night? I was like, I heard that, Eddie. I heard that, Eddie. That's probably the last time we saw Miss Tolbert, who was in Harlem Nights along with Richard Pryor. Oh, man. I don't care what nobody says. Eddie Murphy made some great movies, man. He made some great movies. I don't care what they said. The critics, oh, he shouldn't have done everything in Harlem Nights. He should have just let somebody else direct it. The Clump movies, he gave credit to Jerry Lewis because, he based all the characters on, he based one character, Buddy Love, on Jerry's movie. So the Nutty Professor. I don't care what nobody said. Eddie was funny. He still is these days. It's Freddie Jackson, me, and Mrs. Jones on Bedtime Stories. Eddie is like the bridge between the older comedians and the newer ones. He's like the bridge that you have to cross. He learned from the masters, the Richard Pryors and the Red Foxes. As a matter of fact, he gave birth to the Winans. I don't care what nobody says. I'm sorry, the Wayans brothers, not the Winans, my bad. So, he gave birth to the Wayans brothers, because they sat up and watched Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and Red Fox and all the rest of them. So that's where they learned. That's where they got their chops from. Yep, he's up there, one of the greatest comedians. I don't care what nobody says. Eddie should have been up there with the kings of comedy. You know, you know, of course, at that time, Steve Harvey, of course, Bernie Mac, D.L. Hewley, and Cedric, they were up there. They were up there. But, Eddie was doing that by himself. Raw and delirious. That was all Eddie. That was all him, all by himself. And Eddie did a great job. Eddie was, he was at the top of his game, and I don't care what nobody says. Eddie started off on Saturday Night Live. He was like 18, 19 years old. I saw a clip where Eddie was on the Tonight Show for the first time, and he had to have been no more than 18, 19 years old, and he got on there and he owned it. Eddie owned it when he got on the Johnny Carson show, because not many people get a chance to come and sit on the couch. You know, when Eddie told him, "Hey, come sit on the couch," he's like, "Okay." Eddie was too big for the Kings. The donkey and Shrek made him so much money. I know, right? Yeah. Yep. And see, that's just it. You know, people seem to forget. You know, that's how Eddie went mainstream. You know, he went mainstream, Deborah. He was like, he was doing the voiceovers, and that was it. This mafia guy doesn't want any trouble, but Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy want to cause trouble, fixing boxing matches and break the law. Okay. All righty then. That is not the premise of the movie, but okay. But I will say that was, that was one of his best movies. I don't care what nobody says. That there was a good movie. He may have done too much in the movie, starring, directing. He even wrote the screenplay for the movie. So I think Eddie was still in his 20s at the time when he did that, but he wanted to hurry up and make it before his idols were gone. Richard Pryor and Red Fox. Ooh, it's almost time for foreplay. Life was hilarious too. Yep. Oh yeah. I'm back. I'm glad he did create Harlem Nights while the great comedians were still alive at that time. He had to make so many adjustments to the major studio bosses. Um, Harlem Nights almost didn't get made, you know, because the actors wanted so much money. So Eddie took a pay cut so that they could pay his idols, Red Fox and Richard Pryor. You know, because to him they were the best. They were like the Mount Rushmore of comedians at the time. You know, yeah, they were the they were the ones. They were the last of the Mohicans, and Red was old at the time. So the way you Della Reese looks like Suge Knight. Oh no. Yeah, Red Fox was broke at the time. That's why, Eddie took the pay cut so that Red could get paid. And then later on, he developed the show the Royal Family, of which Red Fox and Della Reese were the stars. So that Red could make some money because, Red was in debt. You know, Red liked to spend money. So, yeah. Yep, the taxes, they got them. Yep. Yeah, Red needed that money. Yeah, he needed it. He liked to play Keno. Yeah. Yep. He was Red was a gambler. Mhm. Mhm. He was born Barry Eugene Carter in Galveston, Texas. His mom wanted him to have his father's name, so he became Barry Eugene Carter White. That is just the way you are right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers of my mic is going out again. Hold on. Let me do this. and I know what it is. It's not the mic either because I switched mics. What was I saying? Oh yes, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. And it is almost time for foreplay. But before we do that, a word from our sponsor. Mm-mm. Michael Franks. Michael Franks. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis and Chicago, and of course, the best music of your life, which is WRLNradio.com, a radio station. There we go. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I was trying to pull up some information on this gentleman here. Let me see if I can do this because I tried to talk into my phone, and instead of it saying something, it said, "Okay, all right, something else." Not much is known about this guy. He's an American singer-songwriter considered a leader of the Quiet Storm movement. He has recorded with a variety of well-known artists such as Patty Austin, Art Garfunkel, Brenda Russell, Claus Ogerman, Joe Sample, and David Sanborn. As a matter of fact, his entire band was made up of members of the Crusaders, uh, Styx Hooper, um, Wilton Felder, and of course the late Joe Sample. Those were that was his band. He is 78 years old. 78. Wow. And he started late. But anyway, tonight we feature for the first time in foreplay the music of Michael Franks, Blue Eyed Soul and Jazz, right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. He was Malcolm X's best friend. Yeah, because they were both red. They both had red hair. I just have one bad habit. Oh, one bad habit. Yes, indeed, I do. I just have one bad habit. Oh, one bad habit. It's you. Mama, it is you. Uncut. Bouncing in the buff with you. I was going to ask you about this song. Really? Get out of here. With you. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I just have one bad habit. Oh, one bad habit. I do. I do. I just have one bad habit. Only one bad habit. And it's you. Mama, it is you. Joe Sample, Larry Carlton, Wilton Felder, John Guerin. Okay. David Sanborn, Michael Brecker. Good Lord, it don't get no better than that. Did I do? Did Michael Franks ever appear on Soul Train or made a music video? He made one music video, and I think that was for When I Give My Love to You. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yep. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now you're in my arms. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Mm-mm. Spoo-doo-doo-doo. When I give my love to you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. With me. When I give my love to you. When I give my love to you. When I give my love to you. Mm-mm. When I give my love to you. Greg Beasley, what's going on, sir? I didn't see you there. What's going on? Ooh, look, it's applesauce. Organic. No sugar added. And Nutri-Grain, made with real fruit. Soft baked breakfast bar. All kinds of um, all kinds of goodies there. When I give my love to you, you, you. The strawberry Nutri-Grain bar is good. I had to buy a $500 car battery today. A $500 car battery? What kind of car do you have? You have an electric car or something? $500. I, I I bought two batteries in the past month, and neither one of them added up to $100. Well, both of them were $80 a piece. So what's that? $160? $500. Good Lord. Woo. Ooh wee. Woo. For something. But or for Mercedes, you went to the dealer and they bet you, yeah, $500 for a battery. Bruh. Good Lord. I remember when I had my BMW, right? Woo. I had a BMW, and every time I had to take it to the shop, it was no less than $500. Tune up, whatever it needed. It was just, well, that's gonna be $500. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't tell you what was wrong with the car yet. I guess that was my punishment for getting that car. You know, I wanted that car so badly, and I got it. And I don't even remember what happened to that car. I don't even remember. It was a stick shift, and I couldn't tell you what happened to that car. Okay, I cannot tell you. My battery was $170 for my Benz last year. Woo, man. Mm. I can't say that I miss my BMW. I can say I do miss my BMW. That was it was a great car. It was a good car. The only thing is, it stayed in the shop more than it stayed on the street. Yep, it stayed in the shop, and the shop was over on South Chicago, and I was right around the corner. I was on 67th and Prairie at the time when I owned this car. I do remember getting a boot on the car. I'm like, how did I get a boot on the car? They kind of caught up with me, so that was it. They caught up with me, and they booted my BMW. My then girlfriend made a few phone calls, and somebody came, and I think we paid $50 to get the boot off. And at that time, it was snowing outside. We took the boot off and threw it in the snow, and I went to work. Haven't had to do much else. Maintenance too much for my BMW 94. And don't get me wrong, they're great cars. I mean, they are great cars, beautiful cars. But the thing is, the upkeep for them is ridiculous. They say you get a tune up, but the tune up's supposed to last for 5 or 6 years. Okay, I get that. Your first car was a BMW? What was my first car? My first car was a van, and that was a Dodge van, which is ironic because I have a Dodge van now. So, guess they said what goes around comes around, yeah. So, uh, BMW stands for Black Man Working because you got to be working to keep that car up. You know, yep, Black Man Working. What really made his songs were the musicians behind them. Um, the musicians behind them that really did it. Um, who were they? Oh, people like Joe Sample, of course, from the Crusaders. Wilton Felder was the bass player on most of his songs. Of course, David Sanborn on alto sax. Walter, Michael Becker on tenor sax. I mean, just you know, and he didn't do a lot of vocal tricks, but his songs were just so deep, and you didn't know if he was black or white, and it really didn't even matter. Some of the words were just beautiful. Especially that one, "Lady Wants to Know," which is going out to one of my coworkers at VON, Miss Darlene Hill. She says, "I love me some Michael Franks." I said, "Girl, you ain't said nothing." So, of course, foreplay is dedicated to Darlene Hill tonight. Michael Franks. His first song that I heard was back in I want to say the early 70s. And it played on a station called WSDM. Those were the call letters, WSDM, which stood for smack dab in the middle. They were 97.9. In other words, they just used 98 as the point of reference. And they were playing this song. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Who is this guy? And it was I'm thinking it was a brother, right? Nah. And I fell in love with the song because it was so quirky. So, just so quirky. It was called Popsicle Toes. I think that's when I fell in love with women's feet. I think that song kind of did it. It's Michael Franks on Bedtime Stories. Hello to the Sister Teresa. Multiply by, by two. It's your birthday, huh? Not by no rose. Popsicle toes. I'm good. How are you, the Sister Teresa? My first ride was a Mustang Mach 1. It was nicknamed the Wounded Pony because it broke down so much. Mm-mm-mm. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're doing well, the Sister Teresa. I'm glad you're doing well. I see pictures of the kids all the time. They are growing up so fast. Oh my goodness. They are growing up so fast. Mm-mm. What else was I saying? Oh, yeah. My first car was a Dodge truck or Dodge van. And the second one was a Opel GT, which they called the baby vet because it had the same styling as a Corvette. And of course, again, it was a 4-speed car. I love stick shifts because I never had to worry about anybody stealing my car because nobody could drive a stick shift. So that was it. So all four of them made the honor roll. That's what's up. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of them. So, and I'm sure you're proud of them as well. I know you are. You know. Biggest hit in 1983 when Sly Calls. Yeah, and we played that one the other day on WVO, and I'd forgotten about that one. But yeah, Michael Franks was the man, boy. You know, that song "Popsicle Toes" was from his first album, "The Art of Tea." I don't know what that meant, but yeah, he had some artsy names for all of his albums. Passion Fruit. Uh, so yeah, but he was the man. Hmm. I will. Thank you for reminding me. Now that it's downtime at the pizza place, I can come on out there. I haven't been out there, and you know,
Underneath the apple tree.
come on, Mike. Yep, Gino Vanelli. Oh man, you ain't said nothing. Gino was one of the few Caucasian brothers to perform on Soul Train. Shirt open, all that taco meat on his chest. Oh yeah. Yep. And that's just it. They didn't know what to do with Gino Vanelli. You know, it's like his voice was just, you know, it was so urban. So they didn't know what to do with him. And of course, you know, before um, Kenny G, he had the curly fro. So, he was loved by all of them, the white girls and the black girls. Yep. Gino Vanelli. Living inside myself. Hey, higher learning is still on. Good Lord. Yep, it's been a while since I've had a home cooked meal, the Sister Teresa, but I'll have to take you up on that real soon. Real soon. Is he still alive? Gino Vanelli? Yeah. He's like 70 years old, though. But yeah, he's still alive. Now, let me make sure. Gino Vanelli. He's 70 years old. Yep, I called it. Yep. June 16th, 1952. Canadian rock singer and songwriter who had several hit songs in the 1970s and 1980s. Best known for the singles People Gotta Move, I Just Want to Stop, Living Inside Myself, and Wild Horses. I don't remember that one, but yep, he's 70 years old. Genre is pop rock, soft rock. Really? Soft rock? Okay. Mm. But yep, he's very much alive. Oh yeah. Two more from Michael Franks. That's Underneath the Apple Tree. I've forgotten about that one. Hey, yeah, a few more cuts out too, as well. Michael Franks on Bedtime Stories. This next gentleman, somebody asked me, was he still alive? Greg Beasley said he was a beast as well. And Sheila asked, is he still alive? Well, he is, and he's 70 years old. His brother, Joe, and him and he, um, they moved to Los Angeles in 1972. They were desperate and broke. They waited for hours in the parking lot outside A&M Records, hoping to get a record deal. When Herb Alpert, the co-owner of A&M Records, finally emerged, he ran toward him, gave him a demo tape while being chased by security guards. He signed Vanelli and released his first album, Crazy Love. He was one of the first Caucasians, besides Dennis Coffey, to appear on the dance show Soul Train back in 1974. I feel like Casey Kasem up in here. Anyway, here's two in a row from Gino Vanelli. This is Living Inside Myself on Bedtime Stories. Inside myself, inside your love. Boom, boom. Inside my own dreams. Hmm. He currently resides in Troutdale, Oregon, where he's an active music teacher. Mm-mm. 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 No. For your love. Do, 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 do. Montreal. Hometown. Gonna stop. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Two in a row from Blue Eyed Soul Brother Gino Vanelli. I just want to stop. Ah, he was one of the first Caucasians on Soul Train. I didn't know that. But there was another one who was on Soul Train, a record 12 times, I believe, and that was Tina Marie. Yeah, she was on there with Rick for the first time when they did Sucker for Your Love. And then she was on there by herself a whole lot of times after that, you know, without Rick. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It's one of my favorite songs, no matter who does it. It's Will Downing and his version of I Can't Make You Love Me on Bedtime Stories. Yo, Glow, what's up? Baby mama. What's up with ya? In 24 hours, we can go back to concentrating strictly on how awesome white people are. Yeah, funny. Well, see you when you get here. Mm-mm-mm. Love you too. I'll see you when you get here. Brother Doug. Baby, I will be the one in my arms. And time to you. In my arms. Be the one to hold you. Baby. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. My main man, Al Jarreau, and After All, right here on Bedtime Stories. My cousin had to remind me that I played a song for my dad one time. I was on the radio, of course, and I played the song Alonzo by Al Jarreau. And my cousin said, "You had your dad in tears." I'm like, I can't believe that. I've never seen my father cry over anything. So I was like, wow, did I? He said, yeah, you played Alonzo by Al Jarreau, and that really got to him. I said, really? I have to start playing that more often. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Greer. This is Bedtime Stories. And I was going to play this other song, but I'm going to play this one instead. So I think the other one gets played too much on Quiet Storm Radio. From the same album, here's Herb Alpert's. The album is called Keep Your Eyes on Me. This is Pillow from Herb Alpert's and his wife Lonnie on Bedtime Stories. Night and Day. Oh, that's one of that's next to The Tempting Temptations and Get Ready. That's my favorite album by The Temptations, For Lovers Only, which features, which is the last time that we heard Melvin Franklin. Melvin was making his transition. They finished most of the album um, before Melvin passed, and they included what is his name? I can't think of Ray's last name, but Ray of course, came from Parliament Funkadelic. So he replaced Melvin. And Melvin had never been replaced up until now. Yeah. Everybody had been replaced except for Melvin. What is Ray's last name? They call him Stingray. And Stingray replaced Melvin on that album. As a matter of fact, they don't show Melvin on the album. They show Ray, whatever his last name is, on the album. And that is absolutely one of their best albums. Night and Day, Time After Time, um, Never Let, Never, Never, Some Enchanted Evening. Whew. Time After Time is one of my favorite ones too, because Ron Tyson is singing lead on that. You know, time after time, that you say that I'm so lucky to be loved by you. I'm like, dang, Ron, Ron smoothed that out. I don't know who did the arrangement on that, but they're in the time after time. But that's one of the, and don't forget, Put Your Drugs in My Face. Yeah, that's my favorite one. That's on the flip side on the flip side of the CD. But anyway, mm-hmm. We're talking about the Temptations album For Lovers Only. Pillow, pillow. Yep, For Lovers Only. But yep, Time After Time and Some Enchanted Evening. You may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across the crowded room. Yep. Oh, Ollie Woodson, boy, he laid that one out. That album, of course, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Herb Alpert, and Pillow. Brought him all the way up into the 90s, boy, I tell you. Of course, the other song, Making Love in the Rain, features Janet Jackson and Lisa Keith. Everybody credits it to Janet, but Janet only did the background vocals on it. Lisa did the lead vocals on it. But she was just never able to, capitalize on that one song. Anyway, Herb Alpert, Lonnie Graves, I'm sorry. Well, Lonnie Alpert and Pillow right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for staying up with me. Greg Beasley, Victor Jackson, let's see, Lori Howards, my other baby mama Glow. I'll see you this weekend. Preston Shanks, and just everybody. Valerie Belcher. I didn't get a chance to say hi to her. DJ Sam Chapman. What's going on, Unc? Tito Hardeman. What's going on, cuz? That's my cousin, by the way. My mother said that before she passed. She said, Tito's your cousin. I said, okay. Let me go introduce myself to my cousin then. Maverick Atkins, Hazel Honey Greer, that's a cousin as well. Chris Bass, Ezra Stevens, aka EJ, the original EJ. And of course, Sheila Forrest. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. We'll do it again tomorrow, right here on Bedtime Stories, on these fine radio stations. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. And don't forget, all donations are welcome via Zelle. That's my phone number, 773-519-1223, or PayPal. Good night. Nighty night. I'm about to hit it. Woo! Yeah. Whoa. Night, y'all. Peace out.